Hello internets, thank you for coming back to the Raz Gaming Zone. I am Rosuriel and today I'm going to be showing you a Force Gaming Group game. This game was sent to me by Baron Von Doom and he said that it was him versus a 2600 diamond player. It is a ZVZ on the map Lost Temple and they are spawning in opposite positions. Baron said this is a pretty good game and it does go on for a decent amount of time, so we will see exactly what happens. Unfortunately, I have not actually watched a whole ton of ZVZ. I do know it is a pretty interesting matchup, and there's definitely some strange things to look at, so we will see exactly how it goes. But in the email that he sent me, he said it was a pretty good game, and that he wanted me to cast it, so that is what I am doing. So, spawning in the southern position, we have Baron Von Doom as the red Zerg. In the northern position, we have Sheepnut as the blue Zerg. Looks like he just did that extractor trick, so he will have a few more drones, but his second overlord did just come out. Looks like they are starting to position their first overlords, and it looks like Baron is using a drone to figure out the position of his enemy. Now, in this game it's a little different because in Zerg vs Zerg it's a very interesting matchup. There's a lot of things you can do. But something I tend to notice is a lot of Zerg like to go early roaches because Zergling, Baneling lose to roaches. Like, you know, just roaches. You don't even need anything else. But if you want like roach Baneling, that's pretty good. I saw that in a fruit dealer match, so that's pretty interesting. But we'll see exactly what they go. I believe they do go a couple different things. I had scanned through the replay, so I did see a few things about their build, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'll definitely make sure that we go through and watch the entire replay, and I'll touch on everything I possibly can. So it looks like we have a spawning pool going down for Baron. I believe that did pop at 14 supply. So he is now just getting up to 16, and it looks like Sheep's spawning pool is also going down, which is also at 14 supply. He also does have his extractor coming up, and Baron did also have his extractor coming up. So we will see if they go with that Zergling speed. That could be one thing they're doing. But also, like I said, a lot of Zerg games, they like to go roach early, so that early extractor will definitely help with the roaches too. So it looks like we have Overlord over here for Sheep. He may potentially watch this expansion, or he could position it out over here to watch this expansion. It looks like Baron, he's putting his more towards the center of the map and just starting to move this one up so he can potentially watch this area or watch this expansion. He could also push it into the base to see exactly what's going to happen. Unfortunately, the Queen will be out soon, so I doubt he will move it in because his spawning pool is up, and he knows that if his spawning pool is up, then most likely Sheep's spawning pool is up also. Looks like we do have that Roach Warren coming down and an extra extractor and a pretty early lair, excuse me. I'm not too sure if this is horribly early for Zerg vs Zerg, since again I haven't played a ton of Zerg, and I honestly haven't even watched a ton of Zerg. But one thing that this will do is he could be either going for roach speed or burrowed roaches. I doubt they'd go with burrowed roaches though, because there are so many overlords on the map and they can turn into overseers with lair pretty quickly. And you could also be going for early Mutalisk, because since you're going to be going roaches and you're playing ZVZ, the only anti-air you have until you at least go with a Spire is going to be your Queens. So it's only going to be defensive. Now you could go with the Spore Colonies, but those aren't so great because they cannot move like the Spine Crawlers can. So it looks like we have 7 roaches popping for Sheep. He may potentially do some pretty early aggression. I do notice in the Zerg vs Zerg that I have done or watched that they normally go one base for a pretty long time, since you don't have to worry about the other issues that you face when playing the other races. You can generally go one base because you know the other Zerg is potentially going one base also. And so the weakness of Larva isn't as pronounced in a Zerg vs Zerg. And for Sheep's base, looks like he is throwing up his extractor. He is also getting metabolic boost, so he will have faster Zerglings. And it does, yes, it looks like Baron is going for that Spire, so we will definitely see some pretty early Mutal play. Looks like he did not either set his rally point or he actually put his roaches in his mineral line on purpose. Not too sure about that, but we will see exactly what happens with that. We do have some roaches for Sheep also, and he is blocking up that ramp, continuing to produce roaches. Metabolic boost is about a third of the way done. Neither of them have expanded, and it looks like Sheep is about to move out. Now Baron does have an Overlord here, so he can see this happening. And he also does have a Zergling with this one, so he can see that. And he has another Overlord here, another Overlord here, and another Overlord here. So he will know exactly when it's going to come down. Looks like he is going to throw down 2 Spine Crawlers to help defend against that. And he also has 14 Zerglings coming out, and that Spire is about to go out too. So he will be able to build some Mutalisks. It looks like Sheep is going to stop here. He is producing a few more Roaches. He may potentially produce some more Zerglings. Not too sure, we will see, but unfortunately this is giving Baron the perfect amount of time, so he will be able to get out some Mutalisks, and he should be okay for defending this attack, since the only anti-air again that Sheep has is his Queen, which is all the way at his base, and they move very slow for creep, so that will not help. Looks like yes, a couple more Roaches. Oh, and there we go, 10 more Zerglings, rallying those Roaches to that group. He may potentially push out since those Zerglings are Speedlings. He does not have to wait. It looks like Baron was about to move out, but he does see that there are more Roaches coming down. He will be ready for this push. He does not want Sheep to see that he has those Mutalisks right away, because he wants to make sure to surprise him with those, which Sheep does not know about them. And he is about to move out here. Okay, Sheep coming in. Looks like Baron backs up, so his Spine Crawlers will be effective. Zerglings coming up to the front. Probably should have just backed those Zerglings up and moved them around the back. That would have been much more effective, but his Roaches are in. It looks like one of his Spine Crawlers does go down. Baron's using his other Spine Crawler, but he does have some Mutalisks out. He is also producing 3 more Mutalisks on the screen. It looks like Sheep is producing 8 more Zerglings. Looks like he is coming down to this line. Baron does lose that Queen, unfortunately. He is also... Sheep looks like he is focusing down the Spire. He knows that that's definitely going to be an issue. Baron really should be coming down and cleaning up these Roaches, or he is going to lose that Spire. More Mutalisks do come out. It looks like he is going to throw his drones back in the line. Unfortunately, as he is going to lose the Spire, he cannot kill those Roaches in time, so he will have to rebuild that Spire, but this will still put him in a pretty good lead since he has those Mutalisks, and I do not believe that Sheep has even started to build his lair. Zerglings coming in, trying to do some harass in the line. Honestly, Sheep probably should have just pulled those units back. This may have been a rally miss micro. We shall see. A couple more Roaches there for Baron, so it looks like he may potentially push back. Yeah, we got some more Zerglings. I'm actually going to check that rally point. Yes, he does have them rally down there. Unfortunately, that was a slight issue, but he should adjust that pretty soon. He is throwing down, 5 Spore Crawlers. He wants to make sure he is definitely prepped against having this Mutalisk harass. He probably didn't have to throw down as many of those. I think these 2 right here, these 2 Spore Crawlers, did not need to go up. He has 2 Queens there, and as long as he stays in creep, he should be fine. And he could have taken the money to build those to actually go with putting lair out himself, so he could get some anti-air. It looks like Baron is going to start doing some Overlord harass, and it looks like Sheep is going to move some of his Overlords back. Unfortunately, the Overlords that are up on the field where he wants to get vision on are going to be taken out. Baron's going to definitely make sure to reduce his vision as much as possible. I do not believe that Baron knows about this Overlord, though. We will check his vision. No, he does not know about that one. So that one will most likely survive, but he is moving his Mutalisks around. He could potentially hunt for it. No, he's going to pull them back up. And it looks like lair is going up. He still has 2 Queens. Baron, did he reproduce his Queen? Yes, his Queen is there, and it looks like he has some more Roaches. He is continuing to pump out some Roaches. We'd have Roach speed coming down for Baron. That lair is about halfway done for Sheep. He is producing a couple more Zerglings and spreading his creep, so he may potentially want to start expanding. Baron is continuing to harass him. But unfortunately, the Spore Crawlers are denying most of the harass. 10 more Zerglings coming out for Sheep. Not too sure if that's the best idea, since, Zerglings will help, but they're not going to do anything against Roaches, because Roaches will just eat up Zerglings, and they're not going to do anything against Mutalisks because they can't attack air. He is going up with that +1 to ground, so he could be thinking that will help, but honestly I still think Roaches do a lot of damage. You need a lot of Zerglings, or you potentially need Banelings to damage those Roaches, so Zerglings can get a good surround and be effective. Looks like we do have Baron finally expanding. This is pretty interesting because in most Zerg vs. Zerg the game is already over by now. So we will actually see some expansions out of these guys. Not too sure if we're going to see an expansion out of Sheep since he